Srivatsava, President, National Association of Containers Association. Mr. Suresh Kumar, President, Container Freight Station of Association of India, Cfsai. Dushan Mulani, Past Chair, Federation of Freight Forwarder Association of India. Sri Anupam Prakash, IRS, Joint Commissioner Custom, CBAC, Ministry of Revenue. Mr. Sanjay Swarup, Chairman, Managing Director, Container Corporation of India. Mr. Samir Bhatnagar, KPMG. Now it is my privilege to invite our chief guest, Mr. Yogendra Garg, IRS, Member Custom, CBIC. We requested everyone to rise for national anthem, please.
तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मांगे, गाहे तव जय गाथा। जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे, जय हे, जय हे, जय 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 हे।
Thank you. Kindly be seated. We now begin with the ceremonial honoring of our distinguished guest on the dais as a token of our respect and appreciation. In this occasion, I request Pramod Kumar Srivatsava, President, National Association of Container Freight Station, requested to honor our chief guest, Mr. Yogendra Garg, IRS, Member, CBAC. Fold fold double fold. Thank you. Kuruma, Sanjay. We request Suresh Kumar R, President, CFSI, to honor Mr. Sri Anupam Prakash, IRS, Joint Secretary, Custom, CBIC. I request Pramod Kumar Srivatsava to honor Sri Sanjay Swarup, Chairman, Managing Director, Container Corporation of India. We request Suresh Kumar to honor Sri Dushan Mulani, Past Chair, FFA. We request Pramod Kumar Srivatsava to honor Sandeep Bhatnagar, KPMG, Samir Bhatnagar, KPMG. Thank you. Thank you for accepting our honor. And we will now request to formally to set a tone today conclave. I invite Sri Pramod Kumar Srivatsava, President, National Association of Container Freight Station, to deliver welcome address. Over to Pramod ji.
Good morning, everyone. Distinguished chief guest, respected dignitaries, eminent speakers, industry's colleagues, and dear friends. It is my privilege as National President of NACFS to welcome you all to the Logistic Conclave 2026. Today's theme is co-creation of resilient logistic infrastructure. It is to me, when I preparing this, it is not just a topic to me. It was, I thought to say something about this particular thing which is come to my mind, and then accordingly I am delivering it. It is necessary for India growth story. This is the normal theme of this, that it is very much required for the industrial growth story. Friends, India is moving fast, we all know that. With national logistic policy, with Prime Minister Gati Shakti, with rapid infrastructure expansion. We are building scale, we are building speed. But now we must build resilience. Resilience means what? System that don't stop under pressure. Pressure that don't delay trade. Infrastructure that adapts to change. And most importantly, resilience means working together. Because logistics is not one sector and a chain. It is only as strong as its weakest links. Container freight station and inland container depot represented by NACFS are one of those critical links. We jointly work with Cfsai and Nacfs on this particular subject very tandemly, and we are supporting exporters, we are enabling imports, we are ensuring supply chain keep moving. But let me say this clearly, the sector today facing real challenges. Operational challenges like cost of destructions of unclear goods, completely upon ICD and CFS instead of actual importer or shipping line. Regulatory challenge like ICD and CFS custodian license still not be moved permanently valid. And issue inconsistency in DPD policy across location. Well, these are the three, we have a lot of speakers which will continue to talk on this, but I thought to only raise this few of the issues which may be interested to take it forward further. And these cannot be solved in isolation, because we try to, why this collaboration of NACFS and CFSAI is there, it is because of that we wanted to bring the ideas to understand the things in a better way. They require dialogue. We know that without dialogue nothing can be achieved. And joint action. That is why the conclave matters, because here we have the policy makers, we have the regulator, we have the industry's leader. All on one platform. That is great. This is where idea become action. And going forward, our priorities must be clear. We must strengthen trust-based system like faceless assessment. We must improve ease of doing business at the ground level. We must ensure uniform practices across CFS and ICDs. And we must embrace technology for the future-ready logistic ecosystem. These are the thought process of our association. Friends, India's ambition to become a global trade powerhouse will not depend only on the policy announcement. It will depend on execution. And execution depends on all of us sitting here in the hall and other parties who are already watching on the live in the digital way. So today, let us not just discuss, let us commit to collaboration, commit to solution, commit to building a logistic ecosystem. And that is sufficient, resilient, and globally competitive. Final, with these words, I am welcome you all and wish this conclave a very meaningful and successful deliberation. Thank you.
Thank you, Pramodji, for setting the tone. You mentioned about a resilient infrastructure. We have a galaxy of stars from the government and from the industry, and all experts. And today we have the opportunity to listen to all of them, and let's see how in these difficult times we move forward. To set the tone, we have, I'll request Samir Bhatnagar, Dr. Samir Bhatnagar, Director of KPMG, to kindly make his presentation. Just a quick word about Samir. Samir is an alumni of IIM Lucknow. Before that, he did his mechanical engineering degree from Delhi College of Engineering, and he's also doctorate in strategic management from IIM Kazikot. He's been closely associated with some of the India's most significant national initiatives like Viksit Bharat 2047, Sagarmala program, Maritime Development Fund, Smart Port program of JNPA. So he's been a part of the government industry, advising us for many, many years, and he has a very wide experience. He has a global experience on development of ports and all across Europe, Asia, Africa, and Australia. So ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Samir Bhatnagar to give his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Umesh ji. I think it's, as you mentioned, galaxy of stars, and I think that's too much honor that you've given me, considering the experience of everybody on the dais and also in the august audience. So, but yes, excited to be here and talk about resilient logistics and transport infrastructure. I think one of the engagements which was spoken about was about the Viksit Bharat 2047, which I had the good fortune of working for the Special Group of Secretaries number 2 in developing the Viksit Bharat 2047 plan. The convener of then was Secretary Mocha Shri Rajiv Bansal for the group, and we assisted him in developing it. And one of the elements that we put into that program was to develop resilient infrastructure when we were discussing the development in 2022. We've also witnessed COVID, and which was a wake-up call in which supply chain and logistics, both domestic and international, really came to the forefront, and industry, policy, government, and even users came together to respond to it in a matter of a few days and hours, and a lot of innovative aspects came out. A lot of quick policy and regulatory decisions were also taken, and some of them impacted significantly in the maritime sector, where the build-up of containers, flow of containers, declaration of off-sites, especially around GNPA, to allow the movement of containers, etc., to happen. Witnessed how railway stepped up when the road and the trucking kind of reduced the movement, and railway stepped up to look at transportation. How the aviation air cargo looked at passenger planes to transport essential medical equipment by modifying some of the internals of the aircraft. So we witnessed it, and that gave us very useful lessons. And we also worked with the World Bank in looking at and doing a survey of users of how COVID impacted the entire community. And then it became a public report, and we looked at some of the initiatives to drive resilience and responsiveness to natural, man-made, or any other such disasters or shocks. So based on some of those learnings, I've just got a very short presentation today, 4 to 5 slides. I'll take a few minutes, and I hope it lays the stage and the foundation for subsequent deliberation for the day for this audience. So what is reliability in logistics movement? I think there are 3 things that we look at reliability. First is consistency, second is dependable, and third is predictable. When we talk about on-time performance, that is, I think, the important aspect, that when we as our customers say that I want my goods to reach at this time, at every time, is really what they are looking at, and that is where we talk about these 3 aspects about being consistent, dependable, and predictability. And it is also important, it's not just applicable to one, but all the transport modes, because they have to individually deliver on their on-time performance as well as when they are working together. As was mentioned by Mr. Srivastav, chain is only as strong as its weakest link. So especially when we're looking at multimodal logistics and transportation, if road is not very reliable, it doesn't matter how efficient your air transportation or express cargo industry is. If rail is efficient but you have a problem with the port infrastructure, then again the build-up happens. So as we are seeing that as the world is becoming more and more interconnected, the reliability across all the transport modes is important, and so resilience and reliability is not just limited to single mode, but we have to look at resilience at a system level and at a network level. Can it be measured? Well, the World Bank does measure it as part of the timeliness scores. There are various methods and there are different critiques also of how it's been measured. But I think it's a good starting point to look at it, although it's a perception based survey of logistics performance. I think it is a relevant thing to at least get started off. Parameters and KPIs can always be redefined and improved as data goes up, where India ranked 38 in 2023 out of 140 countries. It somewhere places it somewhere in the middle of the entire spectrum. Of course, we need to look at being in the top 5 or 10 in line with what is the resilience or the reliability in developed countries. But yes, I think it's a reasonable enough indicator which can help us move forward. So what are some of these countries which are seen as high performance or high fidelity systems look at? So we've looked at briefly for Japan and Germany. And while there's a lot more details, I'm just briefly covering on this. They brought in a lot of policy and government driven initiatives on looking at monitoring the logistics service providers, what happens on a regular basis, what happens during disasters, or what is the alternate infrastructure which is being created to respond to disruptions. So I think a lot of collaboration across transport departments, designating the bullet train network to be looked as a form of transportation during natural disasters, and also to look at significant monitoring and continuous improvement in cutting the waiting time down, which I think has also been undertaken by the government of India when we look into the dwell time studies and the continuous monitoring being done jointly by the ministries, including across customs and the shipping ministry and with the stakeholders to reduce the dwell time through various initiatives, etc., is already happening in India, and that's something that they've also focused on. In Germany, again, the focus is a lot on traffic management, improving road transportation, increasing rail transportation, and again looking at how they're looking at removing choke points on a steady basis through a regular process of analysis and deliberating the creation of additional and redundant infrastructure to allow the movement. I think the important point what we've looked at is when you look at these countries, there are 3 or 4 elements which come in. One is that they look at creating redundant infrastructure because you need physical capacity. They look at the network as a whole. It is not just looking at the development of resilience or reliability in one form of infrastructure. And second is looking at interoperability through technology and processes standardization to allow a seamless and a quick switchover from one form of transportation to another. So I think the whole concept of looking at it as a holistic system is something which is important when we're looking at responding to such situations. And I think why it's important is because we may not be able to predict what gets struck when. So something may happen on the aviation side. For example, we've seen the disruption which happened in December when we had the issue with one of the airlines, for example, having a pilot shortage and a scheduling problem. We've seen something which is happening in the Red Sea crisis, for example, and in the maritime side currently happening. As it happened during COVID, we found the truckers were unable to drive. They did not get passes and they all went to their hometowns, etc., because of lack of passes. So we've seen different modes of transportation getting affected differently, and hence looking at which alternate mode takes up is a matter of a lot of contextual deliberation which has to happen at that time, and hence we need to take a systemic view of it. As I mentioned, India has already done significant improvements in logistics infrastructure, whether it is in terms of the data exchange using the ULIP platform. The NLDS provides real-time tracking of exempt containers. SMILE is looking at integrating state and city logistics plans. Development of alternate transportation and focus on other forms of transportation and multimodal transportation like waterways and railways, and significant improvement in processes to allow seamless movement as well as giving greater visibility or movement of data of traffic and cargo movement through data. Since we're talking about the Maritime Conclave, just looked at something on the maritime side as well. So we've seen port capacity has gone up, the turnaround time has also significantly reduced. What this means is that we've got significant capacity and a latency in the system to account for disruptions as they happen. If a system starts working at around 80 to 90% of its capacity, the latency to absorb any delays or something reduces significantly. So I think the creation of additional capacity does have its benefit, but yes, it has a cost. So redundancy does have a cost, as is there in any system, and somebody has to bear it. what needs to come up as we talk about a framework is a framework by which the costs and benefits of this redundancy are shared across the stakeholders, and which is also, when I say stakeholders, it's not just the government which may need to take on all the costs, but it's also something which needs to be shared with the users and the service providers, because the benefits are there not only to the economy but to the users and the service providers as well. So some framework needs to be looked at by which the costs and benefits of this redundancy has to be built into the system. So just as I come towards the conclusion of my quick presentation, so these are the 5 elements that we've looked at for developing resilient transportation infrastructure. The first is to look at alternate connections to be multimodal, so that we can switch over from road to rail, rail to inland waterways, waterways to coastal shipping, or from road to air. So I think multimodality is an essential part. As I mentioned, one transport mode goes down in one part of the region. How do you look at it? Internationally, this system is already being followed when we look at something like the sea air or air sea cargoes, where somebody misses a shipment, then they air freight it to the nearest port for catching the next connection, for example. So this air sea system is already a form which is used by shippers, etc., when they're thinking that they're going to miss a deadline, or they've missed something, or there's been a disruption in their production schedule. Hence, multimodality is the essential part, both for the infrastructure as well as for the cargo carriage. The second one is shared financing, as I mentioned, state, central government and private players to look at how do they create, finance, develop and operate the infrastructure together. It cannot just be the responsibility of any one agency. It's a benefit which comes collectively to everybody, and hence it has to be a collective responsibility. The third thing is multiple access points. So we've talked about creating, for example, a network, and we identify some critical nodes, and these interconnect points are accessible to different agencies at different points, and then there are intermediate points, which is a very physical infrastructure planning to allow alternate access points. Single access points to any core infrastructure is a high risk situation in any system, no matter what its fidelity can be. So alternate access points to critical infrastructure is always a need when we look at infrastructure planning, especially when we are looking for gateway access. So suppose it's a port, then having not just one national highway supporting it, but maybe 2 or 3 national highways, or one state highway and one national highway is important. In case there's an issue with the road, we can look at coastal evacuation, for example, that becomes important. So hence, looking at alternate access modes to critical gateway infrastructure, core network infrastructure nodes is an important part that we look at for the infrastructure creation. Fourth one, as we move into this whole data while being used for regular process efficiency and transactional efficiency and for better governance, it's also an important element for looking at resilience, because you can predict situations, and in case a situation happens, and we've got a lot of tools, it's not just about using artificial intelligence, but a lot of analytical tools which can, even if they are not able to predict and something happens, the ability to do scenario analysis to see how do we reroute or replan the routing of information of cargo and traffic is an important aspect about it. We've seen it being used in many countries, as when we talk about traffic management, when there's an accident or something, then we find higher alerts being going to the drivers to reroute, look another route, etc. So I think information sharing to understand where is the bottleneck happening, is a bottleneck building up, and then rerouting, replanning, and then quick dissemination of information to the users is an important aspect of using digital information. And lastly, like I said, understanding the cost improvement and what is the efficiency improvement, and this comes from looking at KPIs. So the minute we define certain KPIs, it becomes a rallying objective that yes, if I have to improve this KPI and say resilience, and my reliability of the system has to go from 90 to 95%, there may be a certain cost involved. There would be a cost involved from improving the reliability from 95 to 99%. The question is that there is a cost involved, and the point is what is the cost benefit analysis, and how much improvement versus how much cost are we willing to bear for a given context. And it will not be a single jump. We need not go from X to Y at one go. It can be a transitory jump. It can be an evolutionary jump. For a country of the scale and size and geography that we're talking about, where we're still looking at building new infrastructure, with a spend of between $200 to $300 billion every year, we would need to do it in evolutionary and phases as different systems come online and different transportation modes come up to the same level of maturity, but yes, we need to evaluate at every point in time what is the cost versus benefit by looking at one or two select KPIs on resilience and reliability, which are understood commonly across the industry, across different agencies, and work towards that as a common objective. So I think the point what I wanted to talk about is the 5S framework, which is shared movement using multimodality, shared development and operation of infrastructure, shared access to the network, shared intelligence, and shared costs and benefits. So this is really the framework I think which we can use to derive and develop resilient infrastructure. And I think when we look at how do we take it forward, and as was mentioned that we don't just want to talk about it, want to know how to take forward. So we're looking at 4 proposed steps of implementation. First thing that we've looked at, and this is something that came from the World Bank study, to look at a national inventory of logistics assets. These are already being mapped under the PM Gati Shakti platform, where the layers of infrastructure are being mapped and can be looked at it, and you can get a technology based platform where instantly you would come to know what are the different quality of assets which are operating, what is their current status, etc. can be looked at it. The second is to look at a program based approach to drive resilience into our infrastructure and transport operations. Like we've got the Sagarmala and Bharatmala program for developing infrastructure. So resilience can be a parameter when we look at service levels on roads or service levels at ports, turnaround times, when we look at the on-time performance for airline services or even for trains. How do we derive resilience as a key parameter into an infrastructure development program, or we craft another program which would drive resilience across all transportation as a cross-cutting theme. I've already talked about a financing and institutional mechanism. The last point which I want to talk about as I end my presentation is, we've talked about green infrastructure, we've talked about intelligent and smart infrastructure. When I talk about resilient infrastructure, it is, while it may be seen as a third new element of infrastructure, it derives from being green as well as from smart. I've already talked about the use of technology for better process efficiency, faster rescheduling, and greater information exchange, so things can move seamlessly across. When we talk about green, we're talking about reusability of materials, etc. in the entire infrastructure and including energy, so that in case of a crisis, assets and consumables can be reused within the system rather than derive or depend on external sources. So I think looking at infrastructure which is green, which can respond very quickly or in kinds of environmental or natural disasters, and at the same time when we look at the consumption of some of the goods and materials. So a simple example being, if I have a solar powered warehouse, for example, right, it can actually may not need if a power line goes down, it can actually switch to its solar power system and is self-sufficient in its own place to keep operating, for example, because of the energy which is available in the warehouse, for example. It need not depend on the grid power, for example. So that is a very simple example. It may be a micro example of how green infrastructure can be part of resilient infrastructure, and some of these initiatives can be tied in to actually make the whole system more resilient. So with that, I'd like to end my presentation. I'd like to thank the organizers for inviting me to present my views. And I also congratulate the organizers for this event and wish them all the success through the day for this, and look forward to hearing from the other industry leaders on other insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samir. I think we start with consistency, independence, and predictability. Also, you enlightened us about 5 years frame and 4 key steps, including rail, road, sea, air, interchangeable. Also the digital utilizations, and also the KPI. Thank you for your brief presentation, and you also covered India, especially Japan, Germany, and in line with India's doing it. Thank you, Samir. Now I request you a small video we are planning to show now with reference to the Cfsai and NACFS jointly implement about the CFS and ICT across India.
Every day, millions of goods move in and out of India. The world sees the ships, the cranes, the busy ports. But behind this orchestrated movement lies an invisible force, silent, unacknowledged, yet indispensable. The container freight stations. They don't make headlines. They don't feature in grand announcements. Yet, they ensure that trade never stops. CFSs work behind the scenes, keeping India's ports decongested, ensuring smooth customs clearance, and handling cargo with unmatched precision. March 2020, the world came to a standstill.
As India heads into lockdown mode,
The rapid spread of the coronavirus.
Borders closed, factories shut down, supply chains crumbled. But amidst the chaos, driven by the dynamic leadership of ports and customs, container freight stations kept India moving. When global trade faltered, India's CFSs became the heartbeat of the nation's logistic network. While ports were overwhelmed and cities were locked down, these facilities ensured that essentials kept moving: food, medical supplies, and life-saving drugs. Massive investments have transformed CFSs into the state-of-the-art logistics hubs. With the world-class infrastructure, these facilities support the increasing cargo volumes, ensuring smooth import-export operations. From general cargo to hazardous materials, CFSs handle diverse shipments efficiently and safely. Specialized services such as temperature-controlled storage and advanced cargo handling ensure compliance with global trade standards. CFSs contribute significantly to national revenue by facilitating the collection of customs duties. Each year, these facilities process billions of rupees in customs revenue, ensuring regulatory compliance and transparency in trade. Beyond trade, CFSs are economic engines, generating thousands of jobs from skilled operators to digital supply chain experts, driving growth across multiple sectors. With India's trade projected to grow exponentially, CFSs are scaling up rapidly, expanding capacity, adopting cutting-edge technology, and optimizing logistics to meet future demands at scale and speed. The future of CFS is smarter, faster, and more efficient. Air freight stations, coastal cargo facilitation, packaging and repackaging, and digitalized operations are set to redefine India's logistics landscape, reducing transaction costs and enhancing ease of doing business. At our container freight stations, we are driving change one electric mile at a time. With sustainability at heart, we are moving towards a greener future. India's exit trade is on the move, and CFSs are leading the way, ensuring seamless connectivity, efficient logistics, and a future-ready trade ecosystem. Welcome to the next era of logistics excellence. CFSs, powering India's global trade.
Thank you. Thank you for watching this. I take the privilege to invite Captain Nishit Joshi to give a presentation. He is a master mariner with 12 years sailing experience. He brings with him 3 decades of rich and diversified expertise in shipping and logistic industry. Currently, he is serving as a senior vice president for Hind Terminal. He have more than 15 locations across India. He had the commercial and operation, playing a key role in driving efficiency and excellence in terminal operations. He also the senior vice president of Container Freight Station of India, and also the vice president of National Association of Container Freight Station, and actively contributing to the industry development and policy advocacy. Over to Captain.
Thank you, Padmanabhan ji. Respected Shri Yogendra Garg ji, Member Customs, Shri Anupam Prakash ji, JS Customs, Shri Pramod Shrivastava, President NACFS, Shri Suresh Kumar ji, President CFSAI, Shri Sanjay Swarup ji, Managing Director Concor, Shri Dushyant Mulani ji, Past President FFI, Shri Samir Bhatnagar ji, Partner KPMG, distinguished dignitaries of the dais, and my esteemed colleagues from the logistic industry. My presentation outlines how CFSs have evolved into a strategic backbone of India's EXIM logistics ecosystem. As you would have also seen a lot of things in this movie, Some things would be duplicated. I will cover their scale, operational role, contribution to trade resilience, and a set of key policy reforms that can further unlock efficiency with the support and guidance from CBIC. Sir, today in India there are 125 functional CFSs. This network represents more than 20,000 crores of private investment and occupies close to 4,000 acres of developed logistics land. CFSs provide designed capacity of about 12 million TEUs and currently handles 7.5 million TEUs per year, which is nearly 39% of the local port container volumes in India. This sector supports roughly 2.5 lakh direct and indirect jobs, making it a significant economic engine alongside its logistics role. In FY 25-26, Indian ports handled 27 million TEUs. Out of this, the local port volumes cargo cleared via CFSs or directly at ports was about 19.2 million TEUs. CFSs processed 7.5 million TEUs or 39% of the total volume. At the key ports, CFSs are even more critical. Like in JNPT, we handle about more than 50% of the total volumes. In Chennai and Vizag, more than 50% is handled via CFSs. Even at large private ports like Mundra and Hazira, which have ample on-dock space, CFSs still handle about 22% and 37% of the local cargo respectively. This shows CFSs are not peripheral, they are structurally embedded in the port's logistics ecosystem. CFSs play a multiple interconnected roles in the EXIM supply chain. They are not just storage yards, but integrated logistics hubs that extension of ports, decongest marine terminals, and enable efficient, predictable cargo flows. Firstly, the CFSs act as an integrated logistics backbone. They provide end-to-end solutions for EXIM containers, handling, storage, stuffing, destuffing, documentation, and connectivity to road and rail. This integration reduces handover points and improves reliability for shippers and consignees. Secondly, the CFSs function as an extended gateway of ports, whereby shifting the container operations outside the port boundary, they decentralize cargo handling, reduce pressure on the marine terminal yards, and allow ports to focus on the core marine operations. Thirdly, they enable efficient cargo evacuation. Containers are quickly moved from the port container yard to CFS, freeing up the yard space and speeding the vessel turnaround. At the same time, CFSs ensure secure cargo storage, timely deliveries to importers and exporters, leveraging strong road and rail linkages to the hinterland. Fourthly, CFSs are equipped to handle specialized cargoes like reefer containers, hazardous materials, over-dimensional cargo, and project cargo. Doing this off-port reduces risks and allows more cost-effective and compliant handling of these sensitive goods. CFSs are a key port decongestion tool. By shifting clearance and storage activities off the terminal, they significantly reduce the yard occupancy, truck queuing, and overall reduction in the dwell time inside the port. CFSs also have a directly support the trade facilitation. They house customs and allied agencies, streamline documentation, and help deliver more predictable clearance timelines. This predictability is critical to exporters, importers, and the global supply chain partners. In this slide, I have mentioned some comparison between the India port CFS model and the Europe US model where they don't have CFSs. The strength of India's port CFS model became more visible during the recent global supply chain crisis. While many ports in US and Europe elsewhere experienced severe congestion, India maintained continuity and cost control. CFSs provided distributed storage, faster evacuation from ports, and elastic capacity to absorb shocks. On the Indian side, the model offered several advantages. Continuous cargo evacuation from terminals with flexibility to store cargo at CFSs, reduced port congestion and better vessel turnaround time as the clearance shifted off port, distributed container storage across multiple CFS locations, preventing single point failures, This ability to ramp up storage and handling capacity quickly during external shocks. In contrast, many global ports faced evacuation failures and containers stuck in the congested yards, long vessel queues, yard saturation, and container pileups, escalating detention and storage charges passed on to the shippers. For example, in Los Angeles and Long Beach, in California, there were more than 100 vessels at anchor at the peak, with waiting time stretching into weeks. If we look at the waiting times of the ships, India normally operates from 12 hours to 2 days waiting at various ports. During the crisis, this rose moderated by about a day to 2 to 3 days. Whereas in the US, from similar normal levels, it was 20 to 30 plus days. Europe saw 10 to 15 days plus, China 10 to 20 days plus, and parts of Middle East was more than 30 days, with some ports slowing down even worse than this. India's performance was significantly better, supported by the CFS ecosystem, buffering this shock. Sir, to further strengthen this ecosystem, we propose a focused set of trade facilitation reforms. Firstly, the inspection framework. We recommend a risk-based, randomized inspection approach for AEO LO facilities. This would reduce unnecessary checks on trusted entities, cut down dwell times, and reduce the compliance burdens. This matter we have also suggested in the CCG meeting last year. Secondly, prohibited cargo which is arriving into India, sir. Such cargo currently occupies valuable yard and CFS space for long periods. We propose mandating re-export by shipping lines, ensuring that prohibited cargo do not become a long-term storage burden on the system. Thirdly, regarding the e-auction process, sir, as of now, MSTC is the only platform which is being used by the custodians. Before 2019, the department had various private auctioneers also. This creates a competition and improve reach and speed the disposal of long pending cargo. Our request is to resume to the same system so that there is a competition between the vendors and the disposal will become faster. Fourth is the cargo destruction cost. Today, when the cargo is coming into India and it's not getting cleared, the cost of destruction is on the custodians. We recommend clearly assigning this cost to the cargo owner and not to the custodians, the importer or the shipping line, so that the destruction can proceed without any financial ambiguity. AEO LO certification. Sir, granting perpetual validity to AEO LO status for compliant entities will strengthen the trusted trade framework. This supports more seamless, contactless custom processes and reduces repetitive administrative work. Sixth is the facility approval and the red zone policy. Sir, under the Circular 50 of 2020, the guidelines of setting up of CFS and ICDs, we seek a transparent, uniform criteria for approving CFS and ICD facilities and designating red zones. Sir, this clarity will reduce uncertainty for the investors and help better capacity planning. Digitization. We propose automating Section 48 cargo disposal through an ISIS module. End-to-end digital handling from notice to auction and final disposal will significantly reduce dwell times for uncleared cargo and free up capacity at ports and CFSs. Port code for operators. Sir, there are circumstances where some of the port operators in India, the private port operators, are not issuing the port code to CFSs, even though CBIC, IMC, and the local jurisdictional customs have already approved the facility. Port operator must issue the port code immediately to CFS once it is approved by the jurisdictional customs. Sir, my last point is regarding the SCCR regulation. Sir, SCCR regulation 2009, in 2008 when it was being drafted, there was a draft SCCR regulation which was circulated. At that point in time, we had recommended a lot of suggestions. Now it is almost about 18 years since the SCCR 2009 has come. The SCCR regulations needs to be reviewed and revised considering the current business requirements and the regulatory changes which has happened in the last 18 years. If required, CFSAI and NACFS can assist in drafting the revised version for SCCR. Sir, we are confident that if CBIC considers our recommendations, it will help all the concerned stakeholders in enhancing efficiency, placing better controls, and further advancing the ease of doing business. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Captain Nishit Joshi. I think very crisply you have brought out what support we are getting from the government and what little more we need to move forward. And I'm sure, sir, we will have the consideration of honorable member, and we will all collaborate and try and assist in drafting this, sir. So now, may I have? We have keynote speaker, Mr. Dushyant Mulani, past president, immediate past president of Cfsai. Mr. Dushyant Mulani comes with a legacy. They've got a 100-year-old concern, Khimji Punja freight forward. It's in his DNA to be in this particular field. He's a prominent leader in India's logistics and forwarding. He served as chairman of Cfsai, past president of BCBA, and continues to contribute actively to key policy forums including CBIC and Ministry of Commerce. He has played a significant role in driving ease of doing business, trade facilitation, and digital integration of customs and logistics process. Deeply committed to skill development, entrepreneurship, and gender inclusion, he has been instrumental in creating opportunities within the logistics ecosystem. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Dushyant Mulani. Thank you.
Thank you, Grover sir. Thank you, Padmanabhan ji. A big thank you to NACFS and Cfsai for hosting this great event here in Delhi. And the event can't get bigger than this when we have Shri Yogendra Garg Sahab, Member Customs, Shri Sanjay Sarup, CMD Concor, we have Shri Anupam Prakash ji, JS Customs, industry colleagues, Shri Suresh Kumar sir, Chairman, President Cfsai, President NACFS Shri Srivastav ji, Shri Bhatnagar ji. Thank you, and industry colleagues are here in the audience. Friends, when we talk about CFS, CFS operators across the country, what value addition this particular stakeholder has given us, it is unimaginable, friends. While the port capacity takes time to build up, it does take time to gain traction when we build up any ports, but it is this entity, CFSs, that has kept the wheels of economy running, improved the logistic performance of the country, helped the EXIM trade, importers, exporters, and ensured that they have become the fulcrum of the entire logistic ecosystem. This is the entity where policy meets progress, infrastructure translates into actual performance of logistics, and every minute, every hour saved translate into better cost and performance for our competitiveness of the country. As we saw during the presentation and the film which was shown, it was the time when entire country was not working. The CFSs, the custom brokers, the freight forwarders, shipping lines ensured that essential supplies to the citizens of the country were uninterrupted. While developed economies, the ports, the developers such as Dubai or Long Beach or China were facing huge delays and vessel waiting time. It was our country which showcased that there was no waiting period. Logistics was going on flawless. The present disruption, the Iran conflict which has emerged now, disruption has become a new normal. But it is this time, sir, and with help of CBIC and Ministry of Commerce and Shipping, we found that the circulars and the directives which are given have translated into lot of containers, thousands of them being stored which are terminated for voyage, have been absorbed, stored safely, securely by our CFS friends. And it is a big, takeaway for Indian trade and industry that you have saved us from lot of cost overruns and given us actual ease of doing business. Friends, going forward, what do we look forward together? As a stakeholder, whether it's CFS operators, shipping lines, the importers, exporters, custom brokers, with support of CBIC, we look forward for a digital, comprehensive paperless working. We look forward for a trust-based working environment where proper facilitation is provided to AEO status holders, like what has been given by customs. Let us ensure that we work out something prioritization for these entities. We look forward for a situation where we also represent to government that any slight infringement or an interpretative dispute which arises does not translate into any stoppage of work or business. And we have to ensure that we, in this format, we recognize the actual regular importers, exporters, create a trust-based working environment within us, and that would be possible with creating a lot of digital network. While we are on this aspect, internationally we had a important meeting a few days back, a BRICS meeting which was there, Federation was part of this. So very honorably would like to convey that based on the digitalization measures taken by CBIC last 14 months specifically, it was a matter of honor for India that countries such as Japan, Thailand and Vietnam have expressed their interest and are going to visit India next month for studying these models. We've already forwarded them all the material and the statutory directives towards these aspects. And this is where, with leadership of CBIC, we would suggest that on a IceGate platform, let us ensure that all our out of charge messages and LEO messages are also translated into properly to create a digitalized gate passes through all custodians across the country uniformly. That will be a big takeaway for paperless working. And friends, on a very lighter note, when we talk about CFSs and custom brokers and freight forwarders, everybody is aware about one blockbuster movie that was there, Sholay, and it had two lead roles, Jai and Viru. So I would say that ye dosti nahi todenge, and we will always remain together in path of progress. Thank you.
Thank you, Dushan, and thanks for your compliments. And we are always together for all the time. I take this opportunity to welcome our Joint Secretary, Mr. Anupam Prakash, IRS. I like to introduce, he is a 1998 batch IAS officer, currently a Joint Secretary Customs, CBIC. He brings extensive experience in customs administration, policy formulation, trade facilitation. He played a key role in major initiatives such as AUA program, SWIFT 2.0, National Time Release Study, and Faceless Assessment. His leadership continued to drive digital transformation and efficiency in India customs process. We request everyone to join welcoming Mr. Anupam Prakash. Over to sir.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chief Guest for the Conclave Member Customs, distinguished guest on the dais, Mr. Sanjay Swarup, CMD Concor, Pramod Kumar Srivastav, President NACFS, Shri Suresh Kumar, President CFSAI, Shri Dushyant Mulani, Dr. Samir Bhatnagar, and all other members present here for the conclave. Good morning, and I am happy to note the energy in the room. Very good ideas have been expressed in the morning session. some of the issues indicated by Mr. Pramod, the key issues which he indicated was disposal and licensing issues, day-to-day business of the CFSs. Dr. Samir indicated that we should go for Viksit Bharat mission while dealing with such subject. Captain Nishit, he indicated about the framework and then the key ask from CBIC and other government bodies, what should be the key policy changes taken note of. Dushyant Mulani indicated about the paperless, trust-based system and digital administration. I think when I speak about these things, I will touch upon from the policy perspective. These things have been taken care of by CBIC. These are in highest priority list of CBIC. And I will just give the indication how it is being done. So I welcome the initiative of key partner of trade for holding a conclave with focus on co-creation of a resilient logistics infrastructure. The theme is topical, contemporary, and provide opportunity to discuss various measures for efficient supply chain. India's ambition to become global logistics powerhouse is being built on foundation of co-creation, where government policy, regulatory reform, and industry capability reinforce each other at every step. Customs sit at the intersection of trade, technology, and regulation at the heart of this endeavor. The reform introduced through Union Budget 2026 reflect a fundamental shift in this role. From gatekeeping to enabling, from paper-driven processes to system-driven trust-based processes, from reactive compliance measures to proactive facilitation. CBSE is engineering the regulatory and digital architecture which supplement India's growing logistics infrastructure, together supporting trade flows to be faster, smarter, and truly resilient. I will touch upon few key initiatives taken by Indian Customs in this connection. Firstly, CBIC is revamping single digital gateway for all government EXIM interactions. One of the most transformative systemic reform is the launch of SWIFT 2.0. SWIFT 2.0, that is a single window platform of CBIC, is a unified digital platform providing trade with digital single touch point for all regulatory approvals from any department of the government. 5 key departments have been onboarded. It's a revamped platform. Earlier it was a PDF driven ecosystem. Now it's a digital metadata driven digital system where so much of targeted intervention and facilitation can take place at the same time. So we have completed our integration for FSSAI, AQCS, PQMS, CDSCO, and WCCP. Rest of the PGAs, there are around 60 PGAs, they will be integrated within a year's time. And this system is expected to grow organically, subsuming any other touch point which remains with any other government department. And we see key role of a stakeholder like CFS stakeholder also, including CFS stakeholder also. If you come to know any touch point which requires government approval, kindly bring it to notice of the department so that it can be subsumed in our single window platform. The whole implementation is time bound as committed in the budget. Secondly, we talked about the digital administration, disposal process to be made online, administration, CFS related issues. So for this, CBIC is now creating a next generation customs integrated system. The infrastructure of the future must be powered by next generation technology. CBIC in fact was first among the lead department in the government when it introduced EDI system in 1995. CBIC is now developing CIS, Unified Digital Platform, covering imports, export, transshipment, transit, sea, air, land routes, courier and postal modes, and covering host of other processes, including certain processes of PGAs through single window and international data exchanges. CIS will standardize procedure, eliminate manual processes, and enable AI-assisted validation, real-time dashboards, and seamless data exchange with all trade stakeholders. and it will be implemented in 2 years time frame, EOI for which has already been issued. Thirdly, I will highlight few process initiatives which support efficient logistics movement. On the export side, you might have heard in the budget speech also, CBIC has issued a circular in this connection. For export, there is a process of auto let export order for trusted partners. The process is also supported with the auto goods registration where e-seal ecosystem is being used. It is being piloted at Navasheva for the present, and based on the experience, it will be expanded and rolled out all India. This reform directly supports the vision of making Indian ports and airports competitive nodal nodes in global supply chain. On the import side, process is being made further contactless by introducing auto registration of goods and giving auto out of charge to trusted players. This scheme of auto registration and auto out of charge for imports available to trusted entities, we call them AEOs, you are aware, T2, T3, and a new category of EMIs, eligible manufacturer importer. A circular was also issued for this. The emphasis is now on more trust-based facilitation and reposing such trust by providing the facility of deferred duty payment to such players. A resilient logistical supply chain is only as strong as the financial fluidity of its participants. Recognizing this, CBIC has significantly expanded the deferred duty framework from T2, T3 and authorized PSUs to new entry, that is eligible manufacturer importer. Earlier there was a 15 days deferment period. It has been made 30 days. That means these trusted entities have to pay duty on monthly basis. This eases up the working capital blocked with these trusted partners, and they can better utilize these resources for efficient management of businesses. Warehousing of goods and movements of goods from one warehouse to another warehouse is also being made trust based, shifting from officer based approval for each transaction. Now there will be digital oversight and there will not be any officer approval for the movements. Resilient logistics also depend on the credible, fast, technology-enabled testing infrastructure. CRCL, as apex laboratory of CBIC, it's strengthening its network of laboratories by creating more labs, and 8 new laboratory locations have been identified. This will support faster decision making, saving time and cost for trade. A critical decision taken by government to enhance the non-intrusive infrastructure, as indicated in the budget speech, department is taking steps and the process has been initiated for procuring these container scanners. Presently, we know that indigenous technology is also being tested at Navasheva. The BARC dual energy container scanner is being pilot tested for the location. So whole scanning infrastructure will see a shift, and this is for improving of the efficiency and logistics operation at the port. The system and the process itself will go revamp. The risk management system of department will also undergo change based on this approach. A true reflection of resilient trade flow measures taken by CBIC are also reflected in decision taken by Indian Customs amidst the Middle East crisis, as has been indicated by the previous speakers. CBIC has proactively supported trade in wake of closure of Strait of Hormuz, disrupting maritime routes. CBIC issued circulars so that the goods stranded in the journey can be brought back to the same port. Then we expanded the relaxation to bring back the other ports. We relaxed the provision for filing of sea manifest arrival and the bill of entry for such cargo. And through these measures, the containers can be sent back to town. We further relaxed that FCL and LCL cargo can be reworked and taken back to the location or shipped to abroad if the customer is found for those containers. We also clarified how the process should be for the ICD bound containers. So these measures eased out the container flow during this Middle East crisis. as an institutional mechanism, I will also like to draw attention towards National Trade Facilitation Action Plan 3.0. India's National Trade Facilitation Action Plans were created as a live document to implement WTO TFA commitments. The current Anti-FAB 3 for the period 24 to 27 is the third action plan after 27 to 20 first plan and the second plan of 2020 to 2023. The ongoing Anti-FAB 3.0 carries 48 TFA plus action points and they focus on infrastructure and technology driven trade facilitation. Just to briefly indicate, these 48 action points are actually translated into so many KPIs indicated in the documents. One can see it's a public document. There are key performance indicators which are measurable and will be done by the review by the Cabinet Secretary. 20 long-term, 22 medium-term and 6 short-term action points are there in Anti-FAB 3. They focus, 14 of them focus on ease of compliance, 18 of them focus on infrastructure upgradation, 11 points on EXIM efficiency, and 5 points on sustainability and resilience. Anti-FAB 3.0 brings together a broad matrix for action point aligned with the World Bank Be Ready indicators, UNTF survey, and national vision of Viksit Bharat 2047. Anti-FAB 3 was developed through an extensive collaborative process aimed at creating a forward-looking, globally benchmarked trade facilitation framework that goes beyond TFA requirement. Creation of logistics infrastructure and resilient measure envisaged in Anti-FAB 3.0 will further improve smooth movement of cargo. CBIC is continuously striving for digital, automated, smart and efficient measures which will help in saving time and cost for businesses. The events like the present one, the Logistics Conclave, they provide opportunities for the validation of the efforts taken by CBIC and identifying new areas where additional measures can be taken, and we have noted few of them today. With these few details, I conclude by thanking organizers NACFS and Cfsai for holding this event. Thank you and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, and thank you for enlightening us the development happening in customs. You're talking about mainly on the single digital gate form for PGA, CAS, and auto approval in terms of export and the import, also the TFA, and deferred duty payment and EMI. And I like to share to the audience that we had a discussion before starting that, asking for we prepared a few theme, and we had a discussion 4 or 5 weeks back for conducting this meeting. And of course, we thought of artificial intelligence and digital technology because this is the order of the day. But Sir said, make it different topic, resilient logistics. It's actually topic framed by Sir only. Because of him only, we created this topic. Of course, Sir, today the CFS started handling cargo for Indian importers and Indian exporters. First time in country, CBSE allowed to handle cargo from the different importers and different exporters outside the country, like a transshipment cargo, like a JNBT, you allowed us to operate, facilitate to re-export or reworking. And this is the new business we got it through CBSE. Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking this initiative to us. Now we started operating a transshipment cargo. Of course, difficult time, but still, take this opportunity. If you extend it to us, like a Jabulali, we can also operate the CFS ICD for transshipment cargo for reworking. Thank you, sir. I take this. I think today we have you are enlightening us not only for us as the CFS operator. We have among here we have members from Maritime, we have members from AAA, we have a past chair here, and we have a Natarajan of elect AAA. Ramakrishnan is there, our past chair from Delhi. We also have members from Custom Broker Association across India. We have Calcutta and Delhi, and I think we have CSLA. Also, we have NISA, Delhi Steam Engine Association. We have Delhi Custom Broker Association. Also, we have a lot of members from Export Promotion Council today, and they're all listening to your initiative of customs. Not only here, we have do a lot of process re-engineering in terms of this, especially on the auto export, auto order, especially on the LEO and import here out of charge. and reducing the national time release study, how we can cooperate. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity, sir.
Thank you, Padmanji. Sir, after two wonderful presentations and 2 keynote addresses, thank you for so much of insight into what India is doing, how core it is, we are able to sustain the most difficult times, and we'll probably be able to do going further. For this, we need a lot of support from the railway and the Concor. One of the most key players, so I have honor to introduce Shri Sanjay Swarup, the Chairman and Managing Director of Concor, a Navratna of CPSE under the Ministry of Railways. He is leading India's multimodal logistics transformation. Truly, he is leading that. An IRPS officer of 1990 batch, he brings vast experience across railway operations, logistics operation, and digital transformation. Under his leadership, Concor has expanded significantly with the development of multiple green logistics park, digital initiatives, and custom-centric solutions, and recently announced that formation of a new mega shipping company in India with SCI and Concor. It's a very tall order, but I think under the able leadership of Mr. Sanjay Swarup, this will see the light of the day. With strong academics, IIT Roorkee, IIM Bangalore, he's also some degree from abroad in Antwerp. He continues to drive innovation and sustainability in logistics. Please join us in welcoming Shri Sanjay Swarup, Chairman, Concor.
Chief guest and my dear friend, Mr. Yogen Garg, Member Customs, Mr. Anupam Prakash, JS Customs, Shri Dushyant Mulani from FAI, Mr. Pramod Shrivastava, President NACFS, Mr. Suresh Kumar, President CFS AI, Dr. Samir Bhatnagar, partner in KPMG. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to address all of you. I thank NACFS and CFSAI for giving me an opportunity to present my views. Good morning to all of you. I will already, previous speakers have spoken a lot about mostly port and maritime logistics. I will take all of you to inland logistics now for a change, because we work for mostly inland logistics. That also plays a very, very important role. And I must compliment the organizers for choosing a very nice topic, that is resilient infrastructure for efficient logistics, which is actually demand for today, in which Government of India is taking a lot of initiatives for resilient infrastructure. All of you may be knowing that dedicated freight corridor has been connected to JNPA, which is a major landmark for our country. And very soon the trains will start, regular train movement will start by the end of May, which will be I should say, nothing short of a revolution in inland logistics, where there will be, as Samir has pointed out, we should have a predictability like assured transit. I think we will be able to give that to our exporters and importers. And imagine from our Dadri terminal, Mega MMLP Dadri, we will be starting a train at 9 o'clock today morning, and tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock it will be at JNPA. Within 24 hours it will reach JNPA. So that kind of assured transit and predictability, we are in advanced talks with Indian Railways, and I am very sure we will be able to give it to our exporters. That will bring down the logistics cost for our country, and our products will become very competitive in international market. That is the demand of the day, and we are rising to the occasion. And my company, we are doing a lot of things for developing infrastructure, and at the same time, we are conscious about ESG norms also. 95% of our transportation is through Indian Railways, which is a green mode of transport. In southern India, where peninsular distances are very less and road becomes very competitive as compared to rail, we transport through road also. We are multimodal. For that, we have deployed LNG trailers, which are again a green mode of transport. We are now working towards more and more EVs also. Of course, battery technology at present gives us a lead of only 120 to 130 kilometers for a payload of 55 tons, which normally we take for a truck. So we are deploying EVs at our terminals for intra-terminal movement. For first mile, last mile movement, we are not able to deploy that because 120 kilometers is a very short distance. So, but lot of R&D work is going on in EVs, in battery technology, and very soon, in 3 to 4 years, we will be having 500 to 700 kilometers lead distance for 55-ton payload. Then we will be deploying EVs in a big way in our company for road movement. At present, we are doing LNG. We are having more than 250 LNG trucks, which are running throughout the country, mostly in South India and Central India. North India, we are constrained because there is LNG fuel pumps are not there in North India. First fuel pump of North India, we started at our MMLP in Khatwas. Second one is coming at our MMLP at Dadri very soon. That will also be commissioned. And these will be 2 LNG pumps in North India, which will be in our facility. Otherwise, we don't have any other LNG pump in North India as of now. We have signed MOU with GAIL, Gas Authority, and they are helping us to set up more and more LNG. But because of the geopolitical situations now, of course, the supply of LNG is restricted. And of course, now at present, it is not that good. So we are not able to move more and more containers on LNG. Highways are also coming up, which is again a visionary move by the government of India. All of you may be knowing. Highways are giving very good connections throughout the country. Multi-axle trucks are coming. So all these are resilient infrastructure, which is powering the inland movement of cargo, containerized cargo, as well as non-containerized cargo. Apart from that, railway is also doing a lot of innovations. We have high capacity rolling stocks which are coming up. Many years back, we had only 20 axle load wagons. Now they have moved to 25-ton axle load wagons, which will be running on DFC at a speed of 100 km per hour. So that's a remarkable innovation by Indian Railways. 25-ton axle load means there will be payload of 80 tons on a single wagon. That will increase the double stacking also. More and more containers can move on double stack if we have more heavy duty wagons coming up. Innovations are there. Research and development is going on in Indian Railways for having 32.5 tons axle load wagons also, which will be clear to move on DFC. Of course, it will take 2-3 years, but that is also future on which our engineers are working. We have set up a lot of multimodal logistic parks, which is again a robust infrastructure in which under a single roof, exporters and importers can get all the facilities. We have warehousing facility, container stacking facilities, value addition to their cargo. First mile, last mile also is a focus area of our management. We are working towards it. We are having total 16 MMLPs in our country. Out of that, 5 MMLPs will be on Western DFC, 4 already operational, 1 is under commissioning. These are advantage locations and giving very good business to and very good facilities to the trade. They are very well appreciated. And all the MMLPs are having fully, they are automatic. Every operation and commercial functions are controlled by IT. There is no manual intervention. And one of our flagship terminal is again, it's a smart terminal, I should say. It is a AI-based terminal at ICD Tughlakabad, which we have introduced on a pilot basis. Very soon we will be replicating it at our ICD at Whitefield. So as my previous speakers have told, we should have green and we should have smart infrastructure. So we are working towards both, and we are giving a world-class service to our customers. And AI and IoT based technology we are giving to customers for facilitating them. End-to-end logistics, I've already told, in which we are putting RFIDs for tracing of containers when they are moving to shippers' premises from our terminals. And Bharat Container Shipping Line, as was mentioned just now, I will just take a minute to tell about that. So till now, our country does not have a shipping line, container shipping line of its own. So Government of India visualized this, and seeing the situation in COVID, when we had a very difficult time, there was shortage of containers. In fact, we sent 1,000 containers of rice to Iran, and they all came back also. We gave, our containers are cleared for international movement, so our Conclave owned containers went to Iran. So now government has announced Bharat Container Shipping Line, in which we are 30% stakeholder, one of the major stakeholders. And as per the Amrit Kal vision of Honorable Prime Minister, by 2047, it will be among the top 10 shipping lines of the world, which will be which should be a matter of pride for all the Indians, and we are working towards it. And already, actually, before this establishment of BCSL, we had already started sending our containers to Middle East. We had a tie-up with a company in Middle East. We were sending containers on our own document. We were issuing bill of lading also, and sending our containers to Middle East and right to the premises of our customers, and they were very happy. And return direction also, we were getting containers. After that, the announcement of BCSL came. So now we are very working towards quickly for operationalizing this BCSL. Of course, now it is going to, Union Cabinet is going to approve it now. I think within 1 month it will be approved and it will be operationalized. Due to the war situation in the Middle East right now, we have been tasked by the Government of India to collaborate with the various agencies for sending the cargo to Middle East from India. And we are working towards that. A lot of meetings are being convened by Commerce Ministry, and interministerial groups are there. We are part of that. And very soon it will be announced by Government of India that our containers, Conclave containers or some other containers of India, they will be going to Middle East for carrying the cargo of India, because there is a lot of demand of cargo from India. So all these things point towards the resilient infrastructure, which is a prerequisite for bringing supply chain efficiencies and bringing down the logistics cost in line with the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister. I must compliment the organizers for choosing a very apt topic today, and I wish great success for this conference. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir. And as you all aware, Conclave is always giving us service all the time to us. And as you all know, during the COVID period, we have a shortage of container. Immediately, Conclave placed the order for manufacturing of container in India. I think first in kind, Government of India through Conclave, we are able to do it. Of course, we have no problem with containers, vessel operators now, they are also joint venture with Bharat Container Line. And Conclave is always creating a lot of infrastructure with reference to the environmental. Thank you, sir. Thanks for all your support. And this topic is co-creation, not only the process re-engineering, talking about Dushan Mulani and Joint Secretary, but the for your creation of infrastructure. That's very, very important. Thank you for enlightening us for this. Thank you, sir. Today we have members from not only from Delhi, but we have across India. We have from Tuticorin, Vizag, Cochin, Calcutta, Chennai, and we have members from NCR, also Mundra, JNBT, and Bangalore ICDs. So everyone is here to listen to your infrastructure creation. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Now this is occasion I like to request our chief guest to release a book of SCCR handbook. Actually, this handbook we are continuously upgrading it. Every time whenever the notification issued, the objective is to reach all the notification issued by the board to reach our members in terms of follow the rules and best practices. I request take this opportunity to our chief guest to release the books. This book is actually a Bar Act. So we created a So this book is basically a Bar Act. Whatever notification issued by the CBAC with reference to the notifications, circulars, instructions, everything is complied with sequence with reference to our ICD operations, CFS operations, and it is continuously upgraded. Even though it is a physical copy for book release, we are having a digital because customs always paperless. So for the purpose of releasing alone, we put it in the hard copy. Of course, we are circulating to the digital copy to all our members so that it is much easier to refer. I request now to take the opportunity to release it. And it is updated up to 30th March. I like to acknowledge this, Mr. Kundan of Interminal, who dedicated effort, insight, input, meticulously support, having significant enhance the quality and comprehensively for these publications. Operator. Thank you so much. And it will be circulated to all the members through digital, sir. Thank you so much. Now I take this opportunity to invite our chief guest. It is a great honor and privilege to introduce our chief guest, Mr. Yogendra Garg, IRS, Member Customs, Special Secretary to Government of India, a distinguished officer of Indian Revenue Service from 1990 batch. He currently serves as a Member Customs CBSE New Delhi. He is alumni of Punjab Engineering College, Chandigarh, IIM Bangalore. He brings him with over 3 decades of rich diverse experience across customs administration, taxation, policy formation. Over the year, he held several key logistic positions, leadership positions, including Commissioner of Customs Mumbai, Development Commissioner Kandla, SEZ, Director in Department of Commerce, Principal Commissioner GST Policy Wing, among others. He played a significant role shaping a critical policies in both Department of Commerce and Department of Revenue, including SEZ framework and GST related reform. He is also the major digital transformer initiatives as a Director General of Systems and Data Management, strengthening the technology backbone of CBIC. In recognition of his exemplary service, he was conferred Presidential Award for Metronic Service on Republic Day 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us to welcoming our chief guest, Mr. Yogendra Garg. Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, my friend Mr. Sanjay Saroop, my colleague in the board, Mr. Anupam Prakash, other dignitaries on the dais, dignitaries, respected leaders from trade industry, and esteemed participants. So when I got an invite from Mr. Grover and Mr. Narasimhan, I was wondering what it is going to be about, because having joined customs in 1990, we have been looking at CFSs, and you get used to things being around. So one wonders what to talk about. But as I was gathering my thoughts and as I looked at the topic, I was wondering, what does co-creation mean? What does a resilient infrastructure mean? So what are we looking at? But top of all, what kind of a system we are looking at? Ultimately, all of us are in providing services to the customer. And the end goal is that the supplies reach between the two intended ends. And the best service provider is who practically doesn't exist, whose presence is not felt. All of us have gone through that. Like, if a phone system is working, that service is very good. If there is a disruption, it's not. And quite a few in the hall are from my generation who have seen how the communication services have developed. Today we don't even think about making a call to Bombay. And I grew up as a child when we had to book a trunk call and wait. Or even when I joined service, I was posted at a place where I wanted to pick up phone and say, connect me to, it was a small town in Maharashtra. So there was no dialing system. So services, ideally a service provider should not be visible, should not be seen. And what does it mean? What it means is that there should be no friction points. Because the visibility will come the minute there is a friction, there is an obstacle, there is a disruption in service. And that's what we are working at. I think there is no doubt about the Indian logistics infrastructure being resilient, because between 20 and 26, two major disruptions, we have been witness to it being resilient because it has been able to deliver. It required, and it was a very fine example, both COVID and the West Asia disruption have been very fine examples of co-creation of this resilient infrastructure. With the government, the service providers came together to ensure that the disruption is minimal. but how do we make it better? And that has been our goal. My colleague in the board, Mr. Anupam Prakash, highlighted what all has been done. And that's about what has been done. But what needs to be done is important. Mr. Sanjay Sarup talked about the Amrit Kal vision or the Viksit Bharat Vision 2047, which talks about, we were talking on a slide about the turnaround being 49 hours, I think, was what was mentioned. And it has been a struggle every year through the TRSs. We try to measure what is the dwell time. And one wonders what should be the best way to reduce that dwell time. So can that dwell time be as near zero as possible? What can we do about it? So, but what have been the challenges? So trust is the biggest challenge. In fact, unless we are able to bridge the trust deficit, these gaps would remain. If I mistrust the importers, exporters, and importers, exporters mistrust what the government or the official customs decision is, there is bound to be a challenge. But we need to work together to ensure that the import-export processes are efficient, the entire logistics, including the internal logistics, because if my inland logistics are not efficient, the port logistics or the CFS logistics efficiency may not actually matter. Because as I mentioned, ultimately it's the end customer getting the service as per expectation is what is most important. And all of us understand that import-export is actually not merely an economic activity, or it's not only about logistics. It's about the national growth. If we are talking of India being a developed country, India being amongst top 3, then we must work towards it. And I have no doubt that at the core of this development dream lies the maritime logistics. Because we are carrying 90% of India's trade by volume, and unless we make this system efficient, we'll not be able to compete globally. Unless we are able to compete globally, we'll not be able to be a developed nation. Now, a lot of wishes have been given to us in the presentations made. And I'm sure some of these have been repeatedly given. And like I'm aware that there is a huge issue relating to congestion of the CFSs due to uncleared cargo or cargo which requires disposal. And Mr. Grover and Mr. Narasimhan, when they met me first time, they had given a list of the number of containers which are stuck across the country. Let's work together on this. We are also looking at a mechanism, an efficient mechanism for disposal of these goods. The other day an issue came up as to that the process of asking for bond for containers or taking permissions for movement of containers is an inefficient process. Can we change it? So that is something which we can definitely change. So we are looking at the entire aspect holistically as to what containers come in, what gets stuck, if something is not getting cleared, why it is not getting cleared, and how these can be cleared most efficiently. But let's understand actually, again drawing on the co-creation, this also means that we are on the same side. We are all working together towards that Viksit Bharat goal. So if we are working on the same side, I don't see any space for the trust deficit in working together for that efficiency. In fact, these days the hot topic in the logistics which is impacting and which is being claimed to be impacting is the body-worn cameras. The body-worn cameras, actually it was something which has been introduced to build that trust. It was actually trade-friendly measure which we introduced, that so that there is a transparency in the examination process. But since it's a disruption in the existing ecosystem and some change has happened, as any change would do, it is being something which is leading to delays. So let's work together on this. And most important aspect whenever we are talking of friction points or the improvements in future is the communication. The communication, and I'm really happy to accept that FAI, some of the, even the Mr. Grover, you have been very, very forthcoming in bringing out issues what need to be addressed. In fact, sometimes I get too frequent WhatsApp messages from FAI where I feel that, okay, but they do highlight where the disruptions are happening. Because we can make changes, we can react to a situation, or we can plan for a better policy, provided we are aware of it. So unless we are aware, policy would be based on our understanding internally. So the external, the more minds get together, the better policy it will be. So my request, suggestion is that please don't wait for any conclave, any conferences, any meetings, the PTFCs, CCFCs, CCGs to happen. I think all of you have our mail IDs, all of you have access. So please use, as an idea comes to mind, please share that idea. If it is workable, at least it will get implemented. If it's not implementable in that form, maybe in a modified form it will be, but it's important to flag the point. Looking at CFSs, I must compliment that because as one of my past speakers mentioned, you have helped expanding the port infrastructure. Besides, because port infrastructure is not so easy to create, but expansion of the port infrastructure through the CFSs has been a fast movement, and we have all seen how this infrastructure has grown. And your role in handling the crisis situations is commendable. And actually the CFSs which I saw in 90s and CFSs of today, it's a much more evolved scenario. You have actually become the logistics hubs. While we may call them still the stations, but these are logistics hubs. You are the node for a lot of logistics movements, a lot of value add activities can actually happen. Some demands have been made on regarding the better alignment of the trade facilitation frameworks of authorized economic operators. We are ourselves very, very keen that the trust-based regime is taken forward. As JS Customs mentioned, we have this budget has announced the AMI scheme, and the whole idea is to expand the deferred duty scheme, because deferred duty also contributes quite a large number of hours to our dwell time. So maybe that can be, and this also shows that government is willing to trust the importers in taking the cargo. A lot of IT initiatives have been taken, and as that's a step towards ensuring that the service is not felt. Though some of the friends in the audience may tend to disagree, because we have seen disruptions due to IT also. But if you look at the volumes which are getting handled, that wouldn't have been possible without this IT system. And we do appreciate the challenges faced, and because this IT, the digitalization of the Indian customs has actually taken place in phases. So now we have taken an approach, and the budget announcement of the custom integrated system has been made, which is looking to end-to-end digitalization of the processes. And my request would be that if you have not already done, if you feel that there are certain areas, like you talked about e-disposal or digitalization of the auction, e-auctions and digitalization of the disposal process. Please do share notes with us so that they can become a part of the CIS. But what is critical? Where do the frictions come? Why the disruptions happen besides whatever disruptions are happening globally? Is when we fail to adhere to the laws, the procedures, the documentation. So that we need to work together. How can we strengthen that system? I'm really happy that Mr. Ramakrishna, you have been really pushing us in ensuring that we do adopt, like we are now currently trying with the API-based filing, because that's another touch point where filing has to be done through a flat file or through other processes. But the documentation, completeness of the documentation is a message which has to go across, because there should be no room for queries relating to documents relating to a consignment. And why I'm talking about it in the CFS conference, because it should not be only the role of the customs broker. All of us work together, because you are our checkpoints against safeguarding, for safeguarding against the risks of misdeclaration, smuggling, movement of prohibited goods. Because goods containers being a part in the CFSs, maybe some suspicious movement, some things you can also observe. So I feel the future maritime logistics must be built on integration, which is already happening, with integration with the PM Gati Shakti, with ULIP, with digital information exchange. The trust pillar we have already talked about, and the technology. And that includes not only digitalization, but data analytics and automation of all the peripheral processes as well. So vision is very clear. We need to make India into a globally competitive logistics hub, where the infrastructure, policy, and processes all work in harmony. And that's how we'll be able to create the resilient logistics infrastructure. This would require a very, very strong collaboration between the government and industry. And investments in infrastructure must be matched by infrastructure in skills, technology, and compliance culture. So infra alone is not going to help unless we make investments in these areas of skills, technology, and compliance culture. Will not be able to have a resilient environment. And we need to be ensuring that we work together. It's a dream all of us should see. It is not a dream which a government official should see, or a department in government should see, or an individual should see. As proud citizens of the country, it should be our dream that I would contribute in building up, at least take care of the logistics piece of the economic development. And I'm sure if all sectors, everybody in this jigsaw contributes, we will be able to achieve that dream. So thank you very much. I wish the Conclave a huge success. We have planned a lot of good sessions, and I'm sure there'll be good outcomes. And I'll be happy to actually discuss whatever suggestions, issues, complexities emerge. And let's hope to work together to resolve those issues and take India forward. Thank you, and Jai Hind.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful address to us. And with reference to the COVID vestigias and the betterment and reducing dwell time. And as a NACFS, we are part of Trade Facilitation Committee, and we are actually in the subcommittee of time release study. Especially the time release study, we have two main points, and the data shows, especially on the completion of assessment and payment of duty, and the deferred duty scheme for AMI is actually reduce the time taken by the customs durations. Also the auto out of charge at auto export AEO, let export order. I think it will reduce a lot of considerable time, especially on the time release study, sir. And with reference to the, you're talking about the skilling, we have one session on skilling also, especially in the logistics sector. Council, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, the CEO is going to address today how the skilling is, Government of India is putting a lot of effort to bring people in logistics sector. Thank you, sir. And as you know, we are committed to do compliances of the law. Certainly we do it, sir. Thank you so much. I take this opportunity to thank you again, sir. Now at the end of the session, we like to honor the dignitaries on the stage. I request our President Suresh Kumar to honor member customs, Yugendra Garg, IRS. Sir, this is the model of ship made at called Uru in Kerala. The traditional handicraft wooden dhow ship made at Bayapur, Kerala in India. It is purely a handicraft. It is made out of wood in that place. I request Pramod Kumar Srivastava to honor Mr. Anupam Prakash, IRS Joint Secretary, Customs. We request Suresh Kumar to honor C. Sanjay Swarup, Chairman, Managing Director of Container Corporation of India. We request Pramod Kumar Srivastava to honor Dushan Mulani, past Chair, Federation of Freight Forwarders Association of India. Request Suresh Kumar to honor Samir Bhatnagar, Partner, Transport and Logistics, Global Head, KPMG. I request Pramod Kumar Srivastava to honor Captain Nishit Joshi, Senior Vice President Cfsai for presentation today. Even though we have a shortage of time, our member customs agreed to have one or two questions to interacting with the trade. Can I request Shekhar would like to have something to? Request should be brief, so we'll have another two panel discussions. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Sir, this is Shekhar from Chennai Custom Brokers Association, Chennai. Sir, in Chennai Customs Zone, there are 3 ports comes under one commissionerate zone, customs zone. It is something different from other locations. So, Kattupalli, Ennur and Chennai port, all comes under Chennai Customs Zone. There are CFS, almost 32 CFSs are there. All are mapped with Chennai in my one port, sir. When the containers moved to Ennur port or Kartapalli port, all are moved under transshipment model. These model many times are not effective, and there is a delay in taking the receipt of the GST incentives. All other issues are there. Our humble request, sir, as a special treatment to the Chennai, these transshipment model operation movement can be discontinued to align with single port code. If this is in place, definitely exporters will have great relief, and the CFS operators, any movement from the CFS, they should process the transshipment model. Any containers which are moves from import container moved to these CFSs, all are after taking the permission of transshipment model only are allowed to move. So this will give some significant relief to the trade, sir.
This is an issue which actually I'm aware.
Sir.
Okay, this issue was raised to me as DG Systems member IT. So that's what I was discussing. So let me assure you that this is something which I also feel we should do, we must do. And we'll just examine and see what needs to change to make it happen.
Thank you, sir.
It's a peculiar situation because there are 3 ports. It doesn't exist, so therefore this treatment is being given. But I'll assure from this platform that we'll examine it and come out with a solution soon.
Sir, thank you, sir. With regard to point number 2, so recently, as I have discussed with sir personally, body on camera examination has been implemented vigorously in Chennai alone from 1st April onwards. The customs after implementation only come to know the reality ground level issues. Both Air Commissionerate and Sea Commissionerate are taking almost care to see that what are the developments and can be done in terms of posting more officers, air cargo and seaport. Still there are pendencies accumulated, sir, because of these 100% examinations and various scan mismatch containers. But customs keep on monitoring and they are trying to give, yesterday also they have relaxed some open order conditions, how to take forward temporarily till the pendants are resolved. But situation appears to be worsened, sir. This is welcome move, sir, as far as our trade concerned. We are not against for this implementation. The transparency in place. But at the same time, there are CFSs where at a time we can able to de-stuff only 2 to 3, 4 containers, and the space constraint is there. And we should also give some reasonable time to the saver operator to have the adequate space for keeping the examination and all. So our humble suggestions are till the full infrastructure in place, paced manner 1 or 2 CFS, if board decided to relax the conditions, and once everything is completely settled, then this will have some fruitful results, sir. Now if you see, sir, this dwell time, detention, delay, all are totally against the ease of doing business, sir. I need some relaxation from sir. Thank you, sir.
So I really wonder actually, the way you said it, whether that it's only Chennai or that region which has decided to implement. I was thinking I must compliment actually that all of you in the southern region, that you have done it, followed the instructions most diligently. Okay, and that is what actually has thrown up. I'm sure as first movers, we have seen whenever you use a new equipment, new software, new this thing, there are some initial friction points, the teething troubles as we say. But nonetheless, I had a discussion with CC Chennai a couple of days ago. That is how this temporary relaxation has been given. He is working on the details as to how we should, what changes we should make while implementing. But let me assure you, the intention was never to cause delays or cause disruption. Intention is and remains the transparency, greater transparency in the examination process. But now since recording has to be continuous, recording has to be uninterrupted, So there are some challenges which are coming. Let's work together on this. And if you have any suggestions as to how it should be implemented, it must be implemented. The body-worn cameras for examination must be used. It's a good practice. But if what changes should be brought in so that the disruption is minimized is what we would need from you.
Sir, we have two suggestions, sir. One is this has to be implemented in phased manner at any one or two CFS. Then slowly it has to be expanded to all the CFS, all air cargo. That is one suggestion, sir. Otherwise, how now there are scanning containers are selecting for scanning. These selection are being done by the NCTC. Selection from 10 to 15% of the containers from the vessels are being selected. Similarly, that depends upon the commodity based or depends upon the importer any issues based on the these category. NCTC themselves can alert in the system these goods has to be body-worn camera examination to be done, so that the priority all not to be there for all the cargo where respective status holder, AEO and EMI and manufacturers, they will not affect. And the commodity, very sensitive commodity, anything to be intelligent to be seen carefully, those cargo, if it is integrated in the system itself of the BWC examination, then similarly how the scanning procedure followed, this BWC also will be followed, sir. This is a humble suggestion from our side, sir.
JS Customs already mentioned we are envisaging, actually this budget announcement is already there on scanning of 100% incoming containers.
Sir.
Okay. That also will be coming to you as to how best it should be done. Examination, what to examine is already being chosen by NCTC. Now you want a class within that also, that what should be examined, wearing body-worn cameras out of that would create a very, very suspect class within those examinations. So I don't think that can be a solution. But we can independently sit together and decide as to how it should be done.
Thank you, sir.
It's an important issue which you have raised, but we have to find solutions to that.
Thank you, sir.
Doing away with it or relaxing it won't be a solution.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
So thank you. I think it's getting late, and sir is kind enough to accept the questions for for few things. Of course, as you mentioned, the meeting need not wait for conclave to discuss. And FFA is always very active and sending the WhatsApp message also. As you also mentioning that. So we are all here to exchange all the issues. Thank you so much. And I generally we take our honor to recognize our media partner. I take this opportunity to honor Kunal Modi of Exim. I request Pramod Kumar Srivatsava and Suresh to be handing over the book. Exim. Yes, Sunil. And is the Sunil and Kunal able to circulate the invitations and requests to everyone and bringing into everyone here, Rahul. Yeah. Yeah, Rahul. Yes. I take the opportunity to invite, even though Ram Prasad is not there, request to some from Nikhil or somebody from Gateway Media. Anyone from Gateway Media, please come. Yeah, Madhukar. Maritime Gateway. Is there? We have Nishita Modi from daily shipping time. I request Captain Vivek Bandakar for Bandakar publication. So whatever we have a meeting with everyone and especially on the shipping related activities, the main players are disseminating the information and whatever happening. We are really thankful to the media not only the covering message, but also continuously upgrading the, updating the all the members across all the shipping industries. Before taking vote of thanks by Suresh Kumar, I request Nishit to be part of this group. Take a small photograph. Captain Nishit. Okay, no problem. I request Suresh Kumar, President, to say vote of thanks.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. What a wonderful morning it has been today. Starting with insights from Dr. Samir, KPMG, followed by the J. Viru endorsement from my friend Dushyant about how CFSs and the rest of the industries work. We had Yogendraji as the chief guest, who kind of laid out the entire vision about how logistics, infrastructure, co-creation, everything works together. And the line that he said that will remain in all of our mind is, we are on the same side. Co-creation can happen because we are on the same side, and therefore there should be no friction. There will be issues which will come up. And then we have Sanjay Swarupji, who spoke about the vision for the shipping line, and I think by 2047 to create a shipping line in India, which would be among the top 10. Then we had also a very clear listing down of the action points from the other dignitary who is here. All that put together, it became a wonderful morning for us. When the CFSI Management Committee requested me to do the vote of thanks, the thought that went in my mind was, I'm standing here to represent the 125 CFSs which are working in the country. There are various points in time during the year that we knock the doors of the offices of the CBIC officials. And I must tell you, on behalf of all the CFSs, every time we have approached you, you have heard us with a lot of intent. There have been problems, but we have come to you, either Mr. Grover or Mr. Padmanabhan, Mr. Nishit, a whole lot of us have come and met you during the course of the year. On behalf of all the members, I must tell you that you have listened to our issues with a lot of intent. Wherever possible, you have given us solutions, and we are grateful for that. Some of the leading officers from the department are also here. We constantly go to them also with requests and for guidance, and we have always been able to get that from all of you in ample measure. So on behalf of the entire CFS fraternity, a huge gratitude to all of you for this spirit of collaboration which drives this industry forward. That is something that I want to tell you on behalf of all the 125 CFSs which are there. The other job for me is the usual vote of thanks. Normally the vote of thanks is between an excellent session and refreshments or lunch or something. Today, before refreshments, lunch and everything, we have got 2 more excellent sessions which have been organized, and we have got a list of eminent speakers here who will talk to us after this session. Before we get there, Sri Yogendraji, thank you for taking time. You were one of the first to come, and you have sat through patiently. You have answered some of the questions, operational issues that we have had. You always have a very, very smiling demeanor, which also add to the positivity of all those things. Thank you, sir, for your presence, and thank you for also publishing the 2nd edition, which we assure that it will be circulated as a digital format for all our members. Thank you, sir, and a round of applause for you. In all these kind of meetings, it's very important to have a sheet of paper because there are so many stakeholders who have taken our invitation to be here today. To all the dignitaries on the stage, thank you very much. And let me read out all the other associations who are present here: FFAI, AMTOI, CSLAI, IFTA, IPPTA, BCBA, MANSA, and ACTO for their active participation and for all your continuous support in strengthening our industry. I would also like to share heartfelt appreciation to Mr. R.R. Joshi, one of the founder members of NACFS, advisor and past president, for guiding us in terms of organizing this event. I extend my gratitude to our media partners, XM Times, Daily Shipping Times, Bhandarkar Publications, and Maritime Gateway for their extensive coverage and for highlighting the issues that we face as an industry. A big thank you to the NACFS and CFSAI organizing team and the India Habitat Center for the exceptional hospitality and for providing the necessary support. We look forward to taking all the insights and perspectives from today and being a very compliant and supportive trade group to participate in the vision which has been set down for the XM trade community as a whole. On that note, thank you very much, and I request you all to participate in the rest of the sessions and also for lunch with us thereafter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Suresh. I request Nishi to be on stage, take a group photograph. Friends, I think we'll have a very nice section. We have two big sessions, of course, with very prominent moderators and thing. We had a lot of from Conclave and members, customs and JS. Now we have a commissioner policy. Mr. Atul Singh also here for the next session. And of course, they are all mentioning about policy is going to be a very important role. And we can interact with Mr. Atul Singh also. So during the moderating next panel discussion, please join us within 5 minutes so that we can start the session. We are already late by 30 minutes. Thank you, sir.